Ho, ho, ho. Hello there, friends. This past weekend, I had a little help spreading Christmas magic during a very special birthday getaway. Lupita and Ron hopped aboard the Polar Express in Williams, where there were dancing chefs, warm mugs of hot cocoa, twinkling Christmas lights, and, of course, a quick visit with yours truly. So grab a cozy blanket, pour yourself something warm, and come along as we relive this festive weekend filled with joy, laughter, and a whole lot of Christmas cheer. All aboard.
Canyon coasters. Have you ever heard of it? We are here in Williams, guys. One of the cool things that you may not even know about that's just a 2.5-hour drive from the valley.
It is, and here's the thing. I was so excited when you guys decided to build this up here for so many reasons, Tim, and the reason why is it's a coaster through a nice area of Arizona that folks probably never get to see because they think of desert, they think of cactus.
Nope, it's in the high desert, I guess we call it, and it's a beautiful scenery.
Talk about how this is built. It's 4,000 feet of track?
Actually, it's almost 5,000 feet of track.
Ooh.
So how it's built, you have an up track that takes you up to the top of the mountain, and then it releases you and you push your handles all the way forward. So you control your speed.
You've thought of people like Test in mind when you came up with this coaster.
Oh yeah.
People who are chickens. I'm riding those brakes. Will it ruin your brakes? I don't want to ruin your
It's
brakes.
not going to ruin the brakes, but you're not going to get the thrill that you deserve.
I
Don't
like
be the
baby
thrill
thrills.
kill, okay?
Every
Yeah.
party has a
Boring
pooper,
mom.
that's why we invited you, party pooper. No, don't be that person. Since I'm a gentleman, Tess, I'm thinking ladies first.
Thanks so much. Are you sure you want to be behind me? Your ears might fall off with my screaming. All right, here
How's
we go.
that?
Ho, ho, ho! And just like that, our Christmas adventure reached its final stop. After riding the Polar Express with me and zipping through the mountains on that coaster, Lupita and Ron wrapped up their getaway at Arizona. I watched them enjoy the playful otters, cheer during the bird show, especially when Ron joined in, and even come face to face with bears strolling right beside their car. The weather was crisp, the smiles were big, and it was the perfect way to end a magical weekend. They had a wonderful time, and I sure did enjoy seeing them. I can't wait to welcome them back again next year, when they come visit me once more aboard the Polar Express. Until then, Merry Christmas and keep believing.
So whenever she gets really low to the ground like that, or in this instance, really close to your guys' heads, if you duck, she is just going to fly even lower because she is decreasing that drag on her feathers and on her wings and increasing that lift and turn, making that flying a whole lot easier on herself. But that these guys are one of the only social species of raptor in the entire world. And that is just because if you're down there in Phoenix, in Tucson, make sure you're not just looking for one of them flying around, but anywhere from 2 to 7 of them flying in flocks, in packs you could say, because these guys are actually nicknamed the wolves of the sky for that reason of being found in those flocks, as opposed to a lot of other species of hawks or falcons not really being found in groups, right? Super rare. But this lady is making her fly down home really close to you guys. Star. Any of you have seen a little movie called The Lion King? Don't worry, we're not bringing Simba out. But we are instead bringing out Zazu's cousin. Now, if any of you remember Zazu from The Lion King, that annoying blue talking bird, right? This here is instead Grundy, and Grundy here is a trumpeter hornbill. Already showing off why he got that name, right? He has that big old horn on his bill, and he makes a sound kind of like a trumpet, which right here sometimes is a little more chatty, but there we go. This guy here, the reason that he's able to make that noise is because he's using that horn, also called a casque, as an echo chamber. And these guys, being native to those dense jungles and forests in Africa, have to be loud in order to be able to communicate with other birds in those flocks. Well, what's the break? So we're going to see what Grundy here thinks of catching this grape. Throw right out of the air. Amazing job, Grundy. Now, again, even though pretty cool behavior, arguably, right? That is not even something we really have to train. It is completely natural. These guys in those jungles are going to be flying after all sorts of insects, I said. Things like dragonflies, butterflies, beetles, and they have to have that amazing beak-eye coordination in order to not be flying from the trees all the time. So we're right out of the air again. Beautiful job. I'm gonna have you guys do this. Stand right next to me, nice straight line, shoulder to shoulder. We'll face that direction, and I'm gonna step out of that line. Wonderful. And we got a really big jungle today, so this is gonna be really fun to see. Now, my favorite thing is you guys didn't even ask what we're bringing out. Yeah? You don't care, all right. Well, you're gonna be supporting an animal that weighs 230 grams. Very small. On your other side, we have Flash. Go ahead, stick both arms out in front of you, and we're going to see what he thinks. Oh my gosh. He was ready today. I wasn't even able to finish my sentence of that jungle. That was wonderful. You guys want to do that again? All right, let's go ahead, turn around so the folks behind you get a good look at that as well. All right, we're going to go ahead, send him back on down. And he is moving and grooving. He loves this jungle today. Now he has made it to the fruit tree. Let's get a big round of applause for our volunteers. Thank you guys so much. Awesome. Now, Flash here is a living soup. Now as he comes on around, perching on our hands, you're mainly seeing those really beautiful blues and greens. Not to mention that fabulous eyeliner he has. And what those blues and greens do is they act as camouflage for Flash here and allow him to blend in. But that's the thing about red, is it doesn't blend in, does it? So So why on earth would he have that? Well, usually red in the mouth means danger, doesn't it? It means I'm venomous, I'm poisonous. So when Clash here flashes that red, canyons, hyenas, African wild dogs, you're probably not thinking about the porcupines over there. I love the collective awe at Turbo, we love it. This lady here is specifically an African crested porcupine. Named for that crest she has right there, that little mohawk. And this lady here, you're gonna see why she's named Turbo. She's a lot faster than our North American porcupines, not to mention that her quills are a lot longer as well, right? They reach almost up to 2 feet in length right there, and that's the thing. Being native to Africa, with those lions and hyenas, she has to be able to defend herself. You guys might be thinking we're a little crazy for walking her up to you with all of those really sharp quills, but I have to say Turbo here is one of the absolute friendliest animals we have here at Arizona. She is one of the very first critters we ever started bringing out here for these shows, so she's nice and comfortable, but you might still be thinking, what if she sneezes or coughs? And those quills come flying out at you guys. But I have to tell you, the only porcupine that can shoot their quills out of their body is going to be a cartoon one. So, for Turbo here, if she sneezes or anything like that. Rescues. Over 50% of our animals here at the park are rescues. I can already tell who's seen our next animal. We're going to be joined by one of the very first rescues we ever got here at Arizona. We have Girly, the North American raccoon, otherwise known as a trash panda, but we don't call her that to her face. With Girly here, she does have a pretty special story here at the park, and this lady is quite old for a raccoon, at about 16 years of age. But you're gonna see, we love to do all sorts of things and training to keep her nice and young. So stuff like this free faller right here where she's getting those good steps in, and other voluntary cooperative care behaviors. So things like voluntary nail trims where she'll hand us her paws, let us trim her nails, and even voluntary injections, where this lady every year will actually lean her own hip into the needle and give herself her vaccinations. So how cool is that, being able to get our animals involved in their own welfare? And one other thing raccoons are pretty amazing at is gonna be climbing. So if you folks go out on exhibit here and don't see the raccoons, look up in the trees. But what is even more impressive than how she comes up is how she climbs back down, face first. And the reason that she's able to do that, and most of us probably can't, is that Girly here is able to rotate not with a bang. Thank you so much, Girly.
Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.